So I was sitting here watching the WNBA playoffs, and of course I'm rooting for the Aces. I used to root for the Fever back in the day with Tamika Catchings and everything, but I'm rooting for the Aces. But I was sitting here watching the game, but I was laughing at the fact that in this first round they do like a best of three, like best 2 out of 3, and
Like the NBA used to do.
but the games are like 3 or 4 days apart. Like, why are the games so spread out? Like,
But you know, back in the day, the NBA used to do the best 2 out of 3.
yeah, but I'm saying, but now from a standpoint of TV scheduling and all that, back
Right.
in way back in the day, they didn't care about you not being able to see all the games. You might, there'll be multiple
It might be
games.
four
I get
games
into it
going at a
now a little
time.
bit, but you can
Right.
literally have like 3 playoff games going on at the same time back in the day, where now they try to at least spread it out a little bit. But for the WNBA, it's only 8 teams. And so there's only, a couple of series, but I'm saying like the Aces, I think, played their game 1 like on Wednesday. They played their game 2 on Sunday.
Did they did they have travel involved? Like
I
they
no, I know it was back-to-back home games.
oh. Because
So
I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
I could see that. I guess if there was travel involved, and they had to travel to where the other team was.
And so like all of the games are like now I'm looking at the game 2s of the other 2 teams, right? The other 14, and they played on like Friday. And now game 2 is tonight. Like, what? Why is it so stretched out like this?
Or I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to interfere with Monday Night Football. I don't
I
know.
think basically maybe that's what it was. Like Friday night is one of those nights where you can probably get more coverage. Wednesday night is one of those nights. Thursday night, hey, we don't want to mess with Thursday night football.
Right.
Saturday, we don't want to mess with college, and then the game was the game was Sunday during football. So like game 2. So
I don't know. Then I got nothing.
either, man, because I was actually sitting there going back and forth between the Aces game and Red Zone. I was like going back and forth.
Okay.
Aces got their game in hand. So I was like, well, let me stay on Red Zone and keep checking my fantasy score, which for all intents and purposes, I won, but I don't. I mean, at this point, it's a guessing game. I don't care what anybody say. You just don't know. I don't care what anybody say. You do not know. You do not know. But
because I don't think the coaches know what they're doing right now. Like that Jets Dallas game, I just don't understand. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't anticipating the Jets beating Dallas.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that football 101 doesn't say, in order to slow down the pass rush, run the ball.
Yeah.
They can't pass rush you if you're running the ball. And that was it. Bryce Hall, he got a Bryce Hill.
Bryce Hall. She said
Bryce Hall. There we go.
She didn't. You adding it.
I'm confusing the people.
You about bad as me.
Yeah, I'm confusing the people. So Bryce Hall, he had 4 touches. 4. And Dalvin Cook, I think, had 4 touches, maybe 6. And it ended up with negative yards. Like, what are y'all doing? You can't give up on the run and think you're going to slow down Micah Parsons.
The other part of that, too, is a lot of times, and people used to always talk about the Patriots and like when you watch that style, when they kind of created that style where they were it's kind of like a West Coast feel to it, where they were getting you the short passing game. And a lot of the passes, though, at times were literally first play, 1st and 10, drop back, 3-step drop, swing it out to the running back. Running back catches it, gets 3, maybe 5 yards. And now you're at a 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, or 2nd and 5, which puts you in front of the sticks. It may not get you a chunk, but it gives you momentum. And it also makes the defense know at any time they can just swing it out to the running back. That's also a way you can stop the pass rush. It's literally just, instead of telling your running back, try to block these guys coming in to give you time to throw downfield. I mean, play the horizontal game with them a little bit. Just dump that sucker out on the wing to Bryce Hall and just let Bryce Hall do his thing.
They weren't using
wide receiver screen. Like, I was sitting there like, y'all ain't gonna call one wide receiver screen, not one,
And
not
that's the
one.
thing though, they weren't max protecting either. They
Right,
weren't doing max protect on the poor child. Like I was just like, so we just what are we doing?
child. That's
Did
Zach
you see?
Wilson for
Did you see what
everybody.
happened? Did you see what happened to Wilson?
I mean, and then they talking about
Used and abused.
Oh, having trouble getting on.
Okay.
Just click the button. Come on, D.
And
Yeah.
I just want to say for the record,
Uh-oh.
I need somebody to check Michael Parsons. Like, I'm gonna need him to pee in the cup.
No,
I feel like
I don't think I know what you're saying, but
dude, when did he? Because I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good. He's always been good.
yeah.
But I swear, these past 2 weeks, I feel like he knows the snap count. Because dude is in the backfield faster than anything. I'm like, bruh, I need somebody to check him.
I know what you're saying, and I'm not just. I mean, I would give him. I'm gonna give him credit for just studying because as you
was like, my goodness, does he know the snap count?
As you get better, like when you have a talent, like you have a certain level of talent, and you're good at just the physical aspect of the game, right? You're just better. You're maybe stronger or faster or whatever. You then, what takes you to the next level, now you're studying, right? It's now, like, if you think about Ray back in the day, right? Ray Lewis, coming out of Miami, coming out to Ray, most of the middle linebackers, all them guys are coming out, they can run, side to side and everything. But what made Ray Lewis a Hall of Famer, we knew, his athleticism and he can hit and all that. But what made him a Hall of Famer and took him to the next level, just like Ed Reed, was the way that they studied the game, and they basically also was thinking along. That's what Peyton Manning used to always say. He hated playing the Ravens because he was like, they're thinking just like me. Everything I'm doing, they're mirroring what I do, and so my windows were even tighter. And you know what I mean? He joked around and said he was going to get Ed Reed to announce him at the Hall of Fame because he had thrown so many interceptions to Ed Reed.
Ed Reed,
right? So, but I'm just saying, I think Michael Parsons is probably entered that point now where it's like, okay, I know I can get around people. I know I can do these things physically, and most people can't stop me. But now let me look at let me study. Maybe he studied the snap count. Maybe he picked up on it, which again goes back to coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes back don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's just been crazy to watch. And I feel like it's just
he's a beast.
Big jump. It seems like a big jump from last year to this year. Because don't get me wrong, he was a pain in the behind last year.
I know you still weren't quite happy with your Eagles, I'm sure. not they look like a shell of themselves right now. What's going on? Like on the sideline?
Defense was fine until Avonte Maddox got hurt.
Okay.
And he went out the game, and that's when Minnesota started coming back. Actually, we're
down three starters, right?
Right. We were down 3 starters going into the game. That's right. We were down 3 starters going into the game in secondary.
Gotcha.
Because it was a short week. Because Bradbury's in concussion protocol. He was in concussion protocol. And Evans, I feel like Evans is a rookie, in which he didn't do terrible. Except for the one time that he bit on that fake and completely ran. I was like, sir, you are the safety over the top help. You cannot bite on that move. I mean, he completely ran up. And I was like, and this guy over here wide open. Like, we were screaming at the top of our lungs.
Yeah, man. I thought they was going to get Kurt. I thought they was going to get Kurt to business, man. But they started letting Kurt do his thing. He started dealing a little bit. I was like, all right, Kurt.
I did appreciate the run game, though. I absolutely appreciated the run game since offense couldn't get anything else.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I was good with the run game. Like a couple people were upset that they were just like, why are we just running? Why are we throwing the ball? I was like, because Minnesota hasn't stopped the run yet.
I mean, and the thing about it is everybody thinks the running game is boring because they're so used to throwing the ball thrown around. The Eagles have a difficult schedule.
Yep.
People are looking at tape and looking at things. But I will say this, and I don't know if you agree with me, but I was watching everybody, it's Thursday night game, watching the game.
Right.
Jalen Hurts don't look comfortable right now to me. He
He
doesn't.
doesn't.
And I don't
I
know if
said
it's
that last week.
because they showed a couple of plays from the quarterback view. And I'm not going to sit here and be talking about I'm a professional quarterback and playing all this, and I know how to read defenses. But I've watched enough football to know when a quarterback doesn't look comfortable. I was like,
but I said that week 1. I was like, he's
why
got
did he pull the trigger on that? Like, that looked like a window, and he's got an arm. Like, throw it. There's certain plays that you look and you like throw the ball. It's like, no, you're not gonna throw it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but
it's like it's got to be wide open, and then he throws it. But if it's not wide open, it's like he's not pulling the trigger this year so far. So
yeah, and I don't understand. Like I said that week 1, he looks like he has happy feet. I'm not understanding why he's holding on to the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like, and if it's a window, even if it's a window for him to run, he's not pulling it down to run until the last minute.
They'll be fine. I mean, we're talking about a team that's 2-0, and they got a lot of up. They're gonna be fine. The Eagles will be fine. Now I actually think I am a believer of the Dolphins, and the reason why I say that is because they did not play a perfect game by any means, but they won. And what I'm getting to is, anytime you can go into New England, score 20 plus points, and win a game, a primetime game. I mean, let's start adding the things up, because the last time we saw Tua in prime time, he got carted off, right? So, so my point is, I was watching the game because I was sitting there thinking to myself, okay, how are they going to handle being on the road again, right? First, think about it. You're Miami. Your first game was in Los Angeles. Your second game was in New England. You ain't even been south yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even get a south game.
Is their first home game this week coming?
This is their first home, I think, coming this week.
Okay.
Right, I think. But my point is, for them to be able to go on the road and win those 2 games, especially going into New England, New England's not a juggernaut or anything, but you just made the point. Belichick is Belichick. For them to go in there and win that game, I was like, okay, when you see a team win a game that's close by making plays, right? And they play pretty much mistake-free football, except for a couple of fumble snaps or whatever the hell they got going on with the center. He need to get his act together, or Tua needs to get his hands together. But I was actually impressed by the patience of how they played against the shell, that 2 deep shell and all of that. They were like, we're not going to let Tyreek Hill get behind us. We're not going to but there's this other guy named Waddle. Oh, he's open. Right. Like, we were basically playing to the strengths of what we have. We have a lot of guys that can run. And the other guy that they forgot about when you play against the shell, and this is kind of how Swift got off, Raheem Mostert, man, put on the show. They ran the ball. I was like, okay, that means...
Shout out to Raheem.
Yeah. So that means
helped me out in fantasy football this week. Shout out.
Right. So that means we can beat people running, we can beat people throwing. So now it's just a matter of staying healthy, and I think we'll be in every game.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Now what's going on, man? I clicked on everything. My name is changed to Deion. I clicked on everything. Copy and paste, and then I got a bright idea. Something said, well, just read what it says. Do a little reading. Says copy link and paste it in Safari.
God damn it.
So I gave it a shot, and here I am.
Oh my Lord.
Hey. Why don't I just do some reading? Well, look at God for reading working.
Hey, you can look at him or look at the warehouses. Either way, either one works.
Unbelievable.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was just talking about the mad scientist and talking about how impressed with the Dolphins pulling, going on the road and getting that win. As long as Tua's standing.
Yeah.
Last week, as long as Tua's standing, we got a shot.
Yeah. No, I mean, even though it is early, I think still some teams will show you who they are, and I think we got a lot of potential. I really do. The defense is a little iffy for me. They like to put there's not four true linemen, D linemen.
But we were missing our best pass rusher the other night.
That's right.
Yeah, our best pass rusher was out. So when I saw that, I was like, we're gonna have to do something a little different. And I cannot think of the kid's name. I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Oh, okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
But like the last 4 games of the season last year, he busted. He was absolute beast. I mean, I'm being for real. Like he was an absolute beast. Like they could not block this kid. And I think it's like, he's got to play. And so now this year he was like one of those pieces that there was like, okay, with him and opposite of Chubb, because that was the key, right? When we got Chubb, right, we had guys in the interior that can stop the run, but we couldn't get to anybody's quarterback.
Right.
So when we went out and got Chubb, it was like, okay, we got one guy, and then this other guy came on. So, but he was out last week, so Chubb had to kind of step up and actually earn his paycheck a little bit this week, and then. We were able to, get some stops, but our safeties and D-backs have always been solid over the last 4 or 5 years. And remember, Brian Flores was our coach at one point. People tend to forget all the craziness. The man was coaching defense, and these are some of the same players. They got a new coach and your boy, but he's got to play. I mean, Xavier Howard still can play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know why Mike Tomlin won't fire candidate, whatever his name is, the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh.
See, now you want to go to Pittsburgh? That was a mess. The Steelers Browns game was a mess.
But their offense has been pedestrian at best for several years. But he was the one, the OC that Ben Roethlisberger liked. The Big Ben's gone.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Let us move on.
Yeah.
I mean, but Pittsburgh always does it different. But they always do it different. They hold on to guys. They try to make it work. I mean, bottom line is, I don't care if you put in any coordinator right now, OC. I mean, Kenny Pickett is not. I mean, he's okay.
But you can win with okay QBs if you have a decent offensive coordinator.
Well, but I understand what you're saying, but it's a lot easier to win with a good quarterback. Let's start there.
It is,
right.
But let's be honest. That's not Steelers football.
But it has been at one point. Ben Roethlisberger was only garbage for a couple of years. Most of those years, Ben was a beast.
But for example, when Ben first got there, like they won their first Super Bowl in spite of them.
Understood.
Because he was trash.
I don't disagree that you can't win. I'm just saying.
So that's all I'm saying. But what they doing right now, the way the play is awful.
But my point is, when we do it this way, that means there's less room for error. That's why the Jets had such aspirations, because they went out and got a guy, regardless how old he was, that they felt that we don't have to play perfect on defense. We don't have to make every perfect play call. When you have people that can't play, you gotta make a perfect play calls, and then it's like, well, the OC yes, at times I agree. Sometimes you just don't have the dogs.
Well, pick it out and put my man in, Trubisky, UNC, throw him in there. Come on, he's weathered.
I ain't going that far.
He's weathered. I mean,
he's weathered. Exactly, he's weathered. Okay.
I ain't going that far.
He's weathered.
He's got experience.
Chapter Hill love. I'm not going that far.
He's got experience. Come on, man.
He's got experience, and yet he lost the position last year. They started with Trubisky last season.
That's politics.
It's not no politics.
It's not no politics. Trubisky has never been good. As we're talking about QBs that are not good. Mitchell Trubisky has never been good.
I disagree totally.
Never been drafted as high as he was. But the Bears, they almost like the Browns at this point. The Bears gonna bear.
That is just pure unadulterated dislike. That's all that is.
He
That
said
man,
it's like,
he went to Chicago and had a nice,
he
good
does.
time.
He does have a Chicago tint on him a little bit, right? He just got that stink on him.
I'll say this, man. If you look at most of the games this past week, defenses came to play. I mean, they really, even Carolina, man, their defense was really out there trying to play and hustle. I mean,
now I'm gonna go to Lanice's point. Some of these coordinators are making it very easy. Some of these coordinators are making it very easy.
Those who will never get in front of the camera and own up to it. That's who those guys are, behind the cloth.
Right, behind the call. Games suck, and then they come back. Because just like, people are giving credit. Like you said, we got to give credit when the teams win and all that stuff. I'm like, a lot of these games are going the way that they're supposed to go. And I'm not going to say one way or the other. There's certain, to me, impressive things. Like, for example, people talk about the Giants' comeback. That was the Cardinals, right? Did I miss it?
Yeah. The conversation should have been is why were you down that far to the Cardinals? Because what was it, 28-0? Why did you? I don't know what it was.
You should never be anything to nothing against the Cardinals this year. Like anything to nothing. 7-0, 14-0. It should not matter. Maybe 3-0. I give you 3-0. That's about it. 3-0. After that, you should not have a 0.
They were like, they came back. It was a great comeback. I was like, but my question is, why were you down to the Cardinals to begin with? Like, what are we doing?
Giants. And people say, well, give credit where credit is due. To your point, give credit. I always laugh at that too when they talk about the quarterback comeback stat. I was like, the first part of that is that they got down for them to have to come back. So, like, why are you down? He's had 30-something quarterback comebacks in his career. Why were you down?
30 times. 30 times.
Because I swear half of those times are probably not the great teams. Probably why were you down?
Well, I mean, but look at it. They had no offense versus Dallas. They made Dallas look like world beaters. They had no offense.
And that's what I get what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying the Cardinals actually are that bad. Like we think the Cowboys, even though they played the Jets and the Giants, we still think the Cowboys have talent that they can be that good on defense.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. The Cardinals are that bad. They should not have scored and been scoring 30 points. If you're a playoff team from last year, why are they scoring 30 on you? And they're that bad. Come on now.
Why were you down 28?
But that's what I'm saying. The Texans, right? The Colts, the Panthers. These have rookie quarterbacks with a lot of talent. These teams, you're not expecting to do anything.
Like, don't fall into that hype machine. Because
they're going to be good quarterbacks. I don't think they're going to be. Yeah.
I've had to talk several Panther fans off the ledge. Like one of my coworkers today, the man was teetering bad, and I was like, "Let me help you." I said, because I see where your struggle is.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "They had told me that he was going to be a great QB, and he might be, but he's a rookie, and it's 2 games."
You gotta give them a little time to get in there.
Here's the problem that they're struggling with in Carolina.
Yeah.
Panther fans, if you're listening, let me help you. I'm gonna help y'all out. You are in a rebuild period. The media is telling you all these great things in the Charlotte area because they want you to buy tickets. They still need you to come to these games to sell you tickets. So they're going to tell you how great the coaching staff is. Not that you have a bad coaching staff. I can co-sign on the coaching staff, on a few of the coaches. Yeah. Can co-sign on them. They're not bad dudes. Your quarterback, he may turn out to be absolutely a number one stunner.
I think he's going to be fine once he understands the speed of the game.
But it's your rookie year, and even though, because as my coworker presented to me when I was discussing the rookie QB, and he was like, "Well, I remember a rookie in 2011. He threw for 400 yards," and I was like, "And what did that rookie have? An O-line and a run game?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "What do y'all have this year?"
A rookie.
He was talking about Cam Newton. It wasn't 2011.
Bryce Young is not Cam Newton.
He's not Cam Newton, but also they don't have an O-line, and their best runner currently plays in San Francisco.
But
So
that's that unrealistic aspect of having a number one.
Don't give me your Cam Newton expectations when you don't have the same team around Bryce. You don't have that
That's
yet.
all
But
that
again,
is. They miss Cam.
They missed a lot of Cam. But my point is, Cam Newton was look, for whatever he's been the last few years or whatever, his first 5 or 6 years, that man was a freak of nature.
A pariah, man. That dude was good, man.
A freak of
by the way,
nature. He was a LeBron James athlete style of freak of nature on a football field. That is not Bryce Young. Bryce Young is going to be a tactician. He's going to distribute the ball. He's got a quick release. He's got an accurate arm. He processes information. But again, he's getting used to the speed. Not only the speed of making sure you get the ball where it needs to go, but he's getting used to the speed of people chasing him and coming after him.
Yeah.
Cam Newton didn't care about all of that, regardless of the
people chasing him with no O-line, because that poor boy was running for his life.
But what I'm saying is, you got to have realistic expectations when you have a Cam Newton, O-line or not. Ain't a lot of people going. Well, first of all, he was outrunning some of these guys, and number two, a lot of these guys didn't want to hit him. He was
right because he was so big. Dudes were making business decisions out there. They was like, "Ooh, Cam Newton, full head of steam."
So I don't know.
I want to make that highlight.
Microwave thoughts in their head about you get a quarterback because they're drafted high, or you pay a quarterback a certain amount of money, but all of a sudden you're gonna have success. These guys got to still go out and play, and they got to learn the game.
Yeah, but going back to what I was kind of saying earlier. You got a few teams that's really desperately needing to win. Houston, the Bengals.
Stop.
Did you
say Houston?
Yeah.
Why are they desperate?
Let's talk about teams. Let's talk about teams that we have expectations for.
Who expected Houston to win?
Let's start with the Bengals. Let's start there.
Right.
Talk about the Texans. We want to talk about the
why are they desperate?
Turn the show off already.
They too were starting a rookie QB.
I'm talking about rookie quarterbacks in Texas.
Except for the people in Houston.
Crap off.
You guys are horrible.
You guys are terrible. For them to do anything good.
I know what you're saying.
Maybe their defense, because D'Amico Ryan's there.
I'm not going to press that at all. Look, I want to give all the props to all the teams, but I'm not going to sit here and burn time talking about the Texans. They're not going to do anything.
I don't believe that they will. I'm just some of these weeks are ahead.
Let's start with the Bengals. Let's start there.
The Bengals are desperate for a win because the Bengals, one, had Super Bowl aspirations, and people expected them to be at least contending to make an AFC championship.
And I don't know if you guys heard, but it looks like they might sit Joe for a couple of weeks.
They may. I read a little something about that. My point
to start the season.
I guess what I was trying to make a point about is that some of these teams are showing us who they are.
Yeah,
in the first few. I think if anything, late in the season, Cardinals might get a few. I think the chemistry in Houston is really off. They may get a few later in the season, but the Giants, I don't know if they got potential or not. I really don't. I don't see it.
I'm about to say we're gonna really see Saquon's value.
Right.
Like he's gonna be out a couple of games. They say about 3 games, possibly up to 3 games. Which, if I'm Saquon, it'll be 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If we come out of these 3 games and we're 1-5, I'm not coming back. Ooh, my ankle still hurt. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how much you need me.
My ankle still hurt. It still hurt.
I think Baltimore is gonna be really decent. I think Baltimore will be decent.
Isn't Odell hurt already again?
Yeah, he's nicked up, but I think he'll be fine. I think it's
really
day to day. He's nicked up a little bit.
Green Bay is another team that's going to struggle.
You think they're going to struggle?
I think so.
Really?
I think teams are not going to want to play Green Bay once they get. And remember, their best receivers not even been on the field yet.
Well, some of those receivers are still the ones that last year couldn't get on the same page and know the playbook, catch footballs, all of that stuff. But maybe they polished it up.
They're also young.
to your point, they got a lot of young talent that could kind of hit or miss here each game, but that's exactly what we said about the Lions last year.
Yeah.
A lot of young talent that can hit or miss, but you don't want to play them.
Lions is something, man.
So what I'm saying is the Packers, I'm telling you, if you got a game to win down the stretch and you got the Packers on your schedule, you're not going to want to go into that game sleeping. That's all I'm saying. I think Jordan Love is actually a lot, but I keep telling you, that kid, I think and look who he sat behind. I mean, as much as we can talk about Aaron Rodgers and Eric and all that, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers. You're going to learn something. Like, you're going to learn something.
They put up 24 points this past week.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is that it's not like we're watching, a young quarterback struggle. We're just watching a young team try to figure it out. That's a big difference when you're watching a team that's didn't have a lot of expectations, but they're trying to figure it out. You can watch a game and see that. You can watch a game and see how teams are trying to figure out how they get better. And then you can watch a team and literally go, they're struggling to score. They're struggling to stop this team.
And honestly, I feel like with the Packers, their issue, if you saw any of the game this weekend, was more so their defense than their offense. And the thing is that their defense is supposed to be good. But their defense is not, to date, has not lived up to the expectations of where everybody thought they should be this season. Because they were good last year. This year they're supposed to be much better. And they have not. It's their defense that really hasn't performed up to expectations. Offense is, again, they're going to have growing pains, but so far offense hasn't been bad. But it was defense in this game against the Falcons. From what I saw, what highlights I saw.
It was a defensive weekend. How are the Las Vegas Raiders defense? What do they even look like? Because I know that's my other cousin, Team Dante. He loves the Raiders now.
Absolutely horrid.
Really?
They're horrid.
Their defense is bad.
I haven't had a chance to put eyes on them.
For a minute, though.
I mean, the Bills put up 38.
I feel like their defense has been bad ever since they let Khalil Mack go.
The defense is porous, man. If they don't score 25, 30, they're not going to win in most cases. Unless they play the Broncos every week, then they can win. If they play the Broncos every week. But any other team that they play, they're not going to. It's going to be
fair.
Bad.
To be fair, the Broncos' offense has not been bad this year.
Well, I'm saying in the sense of like matchups and how they go about it. I mean, and again, the Broncos offense against the Washington Redskins, we keep thinking the Redskins aren't that good. They're not that good. Let's stop.
But their defense has been good though.
I don't know.
Have they?
They have some. They have a good.
So let's make a choice. Let's make a choice because we can't keep going back and forth. Is the Broncos offense good?
It's better than it was last year.
Okay, it's better, but is it? Do you look at the Broncos offense as a juggernaut?
No, because they're not.
And they put up 30-something points on Washington. So how in the hell are you going to tell me that the Washington defense is good if you're just saying that the Broncos offense isn't that great? They're better. They put up 30.
No, you said are they a juggernaut? They're not a juggernaut, but
but if you're telling me a defense is really good, they shouldn't be giving up 30.
We gave up 30 this past week.
That's happened.
But you can also point to 3 starters being out and another person got hurt. So you have a small built-in reason because there are main parts of your defense that are gone. All I'm saying is I'm not trying to, make a point. I'm just saying if we got to stay on one side of it or not. I'm not going to sit here and say that the Broncos offense is good as opposed to looking at Washington's defense and going, maybe they're not as good as we think and want them to be. Because there's no way in hell you give up 30 to a team that's still trying to figure it out on offense.
They're still trying to figure it out. Yes.
And I didn't say the Washington football team was good. I just said their defense was good.
And I'm saying they gave up 30 to Russell Wilson. So for you to say that you can stand in front of the judge all you want, I'm not standing in front of the judge and saying that.
Listen, first of all, I want y'all to not act like Russell Wilson last year didn't have Nathaniel Hackett as his head coach, who clearly should have never had the head coaching job. Let's not do that.
Understood.
So their offense, and actually kind of like Green Bay's defense has failed them. This Broncos defense that was supposed to be amazing.
I agree with that too. I agree with
that. Absolutely failed.
I would agree with that too.
Has failed them because I did not realize until I think it was yesterday. I was listening to something and they were talking about the Broncos, and I didn't realize in week 1 the Broncos offense only had the ball 6 times in that first game.
Wow.
And I was like, how bad is your defense if you only get the ball 6 times on offense?
Yeah.
Your defense is
basically
beyond
ran
trash.
The football. The Raiders ran the football and just basically just milked the game. They just milked the game.
They had 6 possessions. That's not Russell Wilson's fault. That's not his fault. And when they were talking about the percentage, they were like, the Broncos, actually their percentage as far as time of possession, the number of possessions they have, and the scoring, they actually are tops in the league as far as scoring based off of when they have possessions this season. It's their defense that has failed them miserably.
I agree with that. I think there's a lot of things that went into the season so far, just like any other season. And now we're going to start seeing some things play out a certain way. For example, I was very, very, very wrong so far with Derek Carr. He looks horrible. He absolutely looks. That man looks bad. And you're not going to tell me because I have him. We all become experts when we take him on our fantasy team. And I can point to 12 points in fantasy that tells me he had a horrible game. And he has no if there's ever a situation of a quarterback that has no excuses, you got Olave, Michael Thomas. They got that kid, the 22, I can't think of his name, Preacher, whatever. He's a beast. You got Kamara not even on the field yet. You got weapons galore, Jawan Johnson. You got a hella defense.
Williams.
You out here playing like a rookie. Like, come on.
I gotta take my bias out of it. I think I've always thought that Carr was a decent quarterback. I'm not saying
that's the point. That's why I'm upset. He is a decent quarterback. What is he doing?
I don't know what he was doing because he had one throw where he just sailed it off into the deep blue.
You saw that?
Defensive back ocean.
You saw that? And then looked around everybody. I'm like, why are you looking at everybody? You threw the ball.
He sailed that thing off into the night. It was like,
he failed it?
Yeah, he did.
And then in the interview after the game, they was talking and they said, things turned around a little bit. And think about it. Think about how much of a dog and how much of a baller Olave is. If he doesn't make that catch, do they even win that game? That's how bad Carr is playing, man. I'm like, come on, dude.
But then again, in the same sentence, Cuzzo, he put that ball where Olave could get it.
Cuzzo, that's the same kind of statement guys say is, I'm a great father. You're supposed to be a great father. He's supposed to put the ball there. That's why he's a starting quarterback getting paid a lot of money. You got a star receiver streaking down the sideline one-on-one. You're supposed to put that ball on him just like that. I'm not giving him credit for that. Come on, bro. No better than that.
I need a timeout. I need a TO.
I'm a great father. Who cares? You're
supposed to be. That's great. I can't. I haven't. I rest, Your Honor.
So let me ask you, because Dion, I feel like we've lost Pete because he's going back to fantasy football. Who's your backup in this league? Because I feel like you might need to put in your backup. Who's the backup?
I know. No, Carr is my backup because that's the point. But my point is, I have Olave, and the mindset is Olave is not maximizing his fantasy potential because it's freaking thinking up the joint.
And I gotta.
And the defense is getting him the ball. The defense, like to your point about the Broncos, The defense is getting him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity.
Guys, this is what I'm saying. I have since I've been out of fantasy football, it's been about 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah.
I've become a spectator. When you're in, and I forgot, when you're in fantasy, you do realize who's not getting the rock and who's
That's
not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you do.
And people talk about all this. I'm like, look, my oldest daughter, she's in fantasy now, and me and her on FaceTime on Sundays now. She's looking because she's trying to learn, and she's picking it up quickly. And, she's sitting there texting me like, I knew I shouldn't have played A.J. Dillon. I shouldn't have listened to you. I was like, you're right. You should have listened to me. That's why I was telling you I'm so disappointed about A.J. Dillon. I'm like, dude, you the starter on this offense, and you couldn't muster up but 7 fantasy points?
Giving a shout out again to Colorado. I think that
we go.
Colorado State has some. We're told to do some dirty, nefarious stuff.
Somebody say that because there were some. I don't think so. I don't say that way.
Dude, number 11 should have been ejected, dude.
I'm not saying the result of what he did, he shouldn't have been ejected. I'm saying though, in a rivalry game, stuff like this happens all the time. Stuff like this happens all the time, though.
It not like that, Cuzzo, not like that. The ball was nowhere even in play. Man, the play was dead. It was over.
Okay.
And my man just took a shot at his ribs, like he squatting in the gym and took a straight shot.
Okay. I got you.
And they let him in the game. They left him in the game. That was terrible.
But just because he did that, I don't necessarily know that he was told to do that.
That's the point I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to make. Yeah, everybody keeps saying you condone it. You're okay with it. No, that's not true. These kids are 18, 19 years old.
And you hate the opponent. It's personal.
And you're trying to make and just like anything else, this is what I was trying to tell. I was telling somebody I watched the game, and then at one point I actually didn't see the end of the game because it was too damn late. I'm sorry. I went to bed.
Yeah, I went to bed too.
I was about to say I didn't even see them come back. I was like, they came back.
Texting at like 2 something in the morning. I was like, why were y'all texting at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Oh, that game was still on? Oh no, I didn't have time for that.
Nah.
Well, my streaming service froze, so I couldn't watch it.
That's funny as hell. But my point is, people are like, oh, he was told to do this. Stop making up stuff, guys. These are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that got high emotions. They want to make a name for themselves in a rivalry game against Prime, Coach Prime. They want to make a name. They may make mistakes. They do something dirty. Everything, if that's the case, if that is the truth, that we truly believe that coach told them to play dirty, then there should be an investigation.
So when you create an atmosphere of send a message, there's 2 types of sending a message.
Okay.
Remember years ago that one coach got in trouble for just merely saying break their ankles and do this and do that to them.
I got you.
That's that type of mentality the atmosphere that you're trying to create, because you're not just going to take a shot like that and risk a 15-yard penalty for no reason and possibly getting ejected. You knew the cat didn't have the ball.
That's a point.
Knew it. He knew it.
I'm gonna play both ends of this. Like I said, Dion, I know where you're coming from, and I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that just because everybody thinks something might have happened doesn't mean it happened. Just because all the Dion fans or all the Colorado fans, everybody, all the celebrities out there going to Colorado games now, everybody wants that to say the coach did that. I don't think that's fair to the coaching staff until there's something that proves it. Because I know, as a matter of fact, if anybody starts to say things about my team or me and starts rubbing my face, that might be one of those plays. I might try to get off a hit. Like you say, it's a dirty hit. I will agree with that now. But I didn't see it. But my point is, it's not his fault they didn't take him off the field.
I'm not. Okay, wait. I'm not. And Cuzzo, you're right. But wait a minute. There was no recourse. How many times have you seen athletes do something not even that egregious?
Right.
And the coach is all in the face mask, yelling at them and everything, all on them. They didn't. Homeboy stayed on the field.
I mean,
If you get ejected from the game,
they'll call
and if he's one of the best players you got and you trying to win the game, I'm gonna let you play if
they'll
they say
call
you
that
play.
guy over. No, sir. No.
The coach always gets in their ear.
The coach didn't pull him off and talk to him at all. Is that
an assistant coach or the head coach? Somebody's getting
somebody should have talked to him. Like I said, I didn't see all of this aftermath.
Right. I didn't see all the after effects.
So if you're saying that nobody actually addressed it, then I can understand people would think that the coaching staff might have had something, or at least they let it happen. They let it
happen. They allowed it to happen because he just went back and got in the huddle.
Got it. I got you. Can we talk about something from a football standpoint real quick? I just want to make this point, and I'm just going to say it because I saw this and people talk about it. Shedeur Sanders is a baller. At the end of the day, that kid can flat out freaking play football. He can play. Flat out throw that. He can spin that thing. I mean, like forget all the hits, forget all Coach Prime. Let's just look at the talent on the field. That kid can flat the hell out, throw that ball.
And really quickly,
flat the hell out, play quarterback.
I'm not all about that. It's not about Prime. It's about the things that I even said last week. They need to work on pass protection better. Right. No penalty. Cut the penalties down and run the ball. But Sanders can play QB.
That dude can play.
He's pocket. He doesn't want to run.
He is not a product of the hype. He's not a product of common circumstance. He's not a product of teams are getting caught in the limelight and playing against him. That kid can flat the hell out, read defenses, and throw that football. Yeah, I'm watching that game, and
to be fair, he balled when he was at Jackson State.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, and he's even better than that. Like I think he's taking a step where you got to start talking about this kid in the draft in some aspects. Like you got to really.
They already have.
But I'm saying I don't think
if he comes out this year because of the QB class, he's not going to go first. But if he stayed a year and came out next year, they're saying that he could potentially be the number one pick overall. A lot of the analysts, they were like, Colorado's going to start season 3-0, and then their season starts. Like when they were looking at the schedule,
woo boy,
the rest of their schedule is
real. It's ridiculous.
Is a situation. So they were like, they're going to start off 3-0, and then their season starts. So we'll see what happens.
I believe they got UCLA up there too, right?
Man, they go.
I think so.
I mean, they go.
Ohio State.
They got USC too.
They play at Oregon, and then they have USC at home.
Lord.
Then they go to Arizona State. Then they have Stanford at home. Then they go to UCLA. And then they have Oregon State. So, like, we're sitting here talking about the super conferences and everything. If we believe the rankings are real in some aspect, dude, they playing number 10, number 5, number 22, number 14, number 21, and they got Utah at the end of the season at a number 11. Yeah, we gonna find out.
Yeah.
Right, we gonna find out what you really made of.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is if there's ever a case where you look at a conference outside of the SEC and the Big Ten that has a gauntlet of teams, Utah, Washington State, Oregon State, Stanford, USC, UCLA, Oregon.
Yeah. Oregon.
Wow. Oh, by the way, it's not like Arizona doesn't always have a defense. Oh my God. Hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here.
Nice. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, man, come on now, man. The link, man. Click the link. Reading is fundamental. Reading is truly, truly fundamental.
That made my night. Here's the funny part.
Denise, here's the funny part. We're talking to a man that was an education major.
Okay, all right. I'm out of here. I'll go. I'm out. I'm done. There you have it.
I'm sorry, Cuzzo, man. My bad, man. I love you, man.
No, it's all love, Cuzzo. I got you. I mean, it's the warehouse, bro.
It was dark. It was dark.
It was dark.
It was dark. I can't.
Oh my God, man. I appreciate it.
Man, wait till next week. Let's get it next week.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Later. You too.